This is episode 100 of the Battle of the Hog podcast. Can you believe it, Thomas? 100. This is the 100th episode. We made it 100 episodes in, man. It's crazy. Anyway, it just so happens to also be the episode before Super Bowl 56.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that.
Right.
Who would have thought?
Well, I as you know, I predicted the Bengals to make it to the divisional round. I did not predict them to make it this damn far, though. At least not this quickly, anyway. But everybody, we are joined tonight by Cleveland legend SirYacht. Say what's up, SirYacht.
What's up, SirYacht? I took that to you.
Okay, now say what's up to the audience.
Yeah, what's up, Mike? Hey guys, congratulations on 100. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. We've been pumping them out. We've been pumping them out, man. And for the last maybe 50 of them, we've actually had an audience to talk to. So
that's awesome. I can't do a podcast for whatever reason. Get it past 20 episodes. For you guys to get 100 is that's a lot. Do you do this once a week or how often?
We
Sometimes fun.
We do it twice a week during the regular season, and then we cut back to once a week during the off season. And I'm thinking, because I got my YouTube channel going, and Thomas got a lot of his projects going, I'm thinking maybe next year we're only going to do one podcast a week during the season too. But for now, we've been doing 2 episodes a week for the last couple months.
Well, it's awesome. Congratulations on 100 episodes. That's a great feat right there. I appreciate it. It's cool. I'm honored to be on the 100th. On the biggest one.
Dude, SirYacht, why are you such a chill dude, man? Like you're just so chill. Like, thank you.
Funny, I feel like I have to be chill because all the videos I put out, I'm so animated and stuff like that, and I think I just fell into this niche of just raw emotion. So once I put all that stuff out there, I don't really have any emotion to really fall back on. So for the most part, I'm pretty chill. I'll be passionate about things, and then I'll get in debates and I'll argue and I'll make my videos and stuff. But after that, man, I just kind of, I just chill. Camera on me is a lot different. SirYacht definitely is it's not a character, I would say, but I'm I'm in the moment. Whereas off camera, this is kind of how I am.
Okay. I like it. I love it. All right, Kyle.
I definitely feel you. I've been doing these videos, and I don't know. It kind of it gets some of the anxiety and the stress out of being a Bengals fan kind of out there. So it's just I feel in general a lot more just kind of calm once I put these videos out there and everything. I don't have to worry about all that crap.
Yeah,
anxiety and stress.
I would hate to have to worry about the Super Bowl and making that. Yeah, that would be such a stress for me.
Yeah,
dude, I'm beyond that. I've never seen them get this far. I'm cool.
We have a better quarterback. We have a better receiver than y'all had in the last 25 years.
Yeah, he was so good that he took a different team to the Super Bowl.
When was the last time?
First off, I love Odell Beckham Jr. If that's who you're talking about, he's a great guy. Jamar Chase is a top 3 wide receiver right now. I don't think Odell is top 3 on his team. He's probably 2, but Jamar Chase is there's 2 people maybe better than him. I don't know.
Not even that dude's insane.
Right now, but he's gonna take over Devontae Adams one day.
Yeah, he's definitely top 5. That guy's a stud. It's probably refreshing for you, Kyle, because people are like, oh, they should have drafted Penei Sewell. Even though yeah, guess what? They're in the freaking Super Bowl, okay? Yeah, they could have drafted him, but guess what? They didn't, and they're in the Super Bowl. And a big part, I don't think they make the Super Bowl without Jamar Chase. That's probably a fact.
I agree with that. And, Penei Sewell took a little while to kind of come into his own too. But the thing about if you go back to the earlier episodes of this podcast when we were talking about that particular draft and everything like that, me and Thomas were both on team Pitts. We were trying to get the Bengals to go get Kyle Pitts. He wasn't on the board when the Bengals drafted because he went the pick before. But I was down with the receiver. I wanted the bigger target, but then again, the Bengals don't play a lot of tight end sets, so I guess I kind of get it.
Well, it's so funny because at LSU, people forget because he took a year off. Justin Jefferson, was such a coveted wide receiver and like obviously a stud in the NFL, and he was a stud in college. But Jamar Chase was the better wide receiver when they both were at LSU, and people like just forget like because they didn't see Jamar Chase play for a year, they're like, oh, like they need to draft it. I mean, no doubt, like they need offensive line help. They still need protection help, but when you're talking about a generational talent at wide receiver, I mean, the funniest thing is like people are like, oh, he's dropping stuff the preseason told you, like whatever. Like, and look what happens. Like, look what happens. Like, he is adjusting. He's a wide receiver, okay, rookie, and he's adjusting to the game. It's fast. Everybody talks about how fast the game is. Even Urban Meyer was talking about how fast it was. He's like, oh, are we playing Alabama every week? It's like, yeah, Urban, you can't just schedule the Montessori of blind and deaf. But like, here's the thing. Jamar Chase is done. I'm happy for Bengals fans. A lot of people are like, you shouldn't root for Bengals fans if you're a Browns fan. And I would agree. I'm not necessarily polling for the Bengals, but I'm happy for my Cincinnati friends. I'm happy for the city. I'm happy for the Bengals. And I'm happy for Joe Burrow. Couldn't be a better guy at the quarterback position for the Bengals.
Well, I'll tell you what. I looked up a couple of your videos before you came on so I could kind of familiarize myself and be able to try to be a good host here. I saw that Cincinnati is in Kentucky shirt, sir, and I will have you know that I take that as a compliment.
So I think it's really funny that everybody like. I think ultimately people are like, "That's why are you saying that? Like, that's ridiculous." The only reason I say that is because Cincinnati is on the river and their airport is it's Northern Kentucky. So I started saying it one day. And I mean, I've heard people say it before, but then I started like saying it and then people like got really mad. So whenever the Bengals do something good for the Browns, I say that Cincinnati is in Ohio. But like I made a t-shirt for it and then I started wearing it and yeah. Here's the thing, like at all, but like obviously there's like a little rivalry between the Bengals and the Browns, but it's like all in good fun. That's like the meanest thing I will say about Cincinnati. You want to talk about Steelers and Ravens fans? That's where like shit's gonna go. It's just gonna get weird. But the worst thing I'll ever say about Cincinnati is in Kentucky, and then the best thing, Bengals fans, you just clap back and be like, "Oh, you've only had one relevant season since 1999." I'm like, see, now we're even. Even though you're a lot more insulting than I was. So
that's fair enough. Speaking of the Steelers, though, the Jimmy G to Pittsburgh rumors that I believe, Thomas, we talked about the last time that we were doing this podcast the other day. I believe that's what I brought up as part of the state of the AFC North. But Jimmy G to Pittsburgh rumors are starting to sound more and more legitimate, and I am all the fuck here for that.
Oh,
because why, Thomas?
Because Pittsburgh still sucks.
That's damn right.
Welcome to the Battle of Ohio podcast, where we follow the revival of the historic rivalry between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
I forgot that we forgot to do that. That's like our thing. Where every single episode we do Pittsburgh still sucks is the one thing that Browns fans and Bengals fans could agree on.
We didn't forget to do it. It just took me 10 minutes to get through the intro.
Well, on it, you're going to have a lot of ADHD circulate into the episode, so a lot of things done. But I like that too. I will say Jimmy Garoppolo probably isn't going to be a handsome guy anymore in that Steelers outfit. I don't care what anybody. Nobody can make that black and yellow look good. Those colors, I'm not a fan. Garoppolo, I don't like. He's a nice guy. Don't get me wrong, great guy. But I just don't. And he's like, people are like, he's a winner. It's like, okay, he's been on really good teams, and with the 49ers, they won in spite of him. Like he literally lost in that game. So people want to dog Baker Mayfield. The guy was injured. That's my opinion on it. But Jimmy Garoppolo injured too. But I don't know. It's funny how people are giving, especially Browns fans, which are so toxic right now. Like I don't know if you any of this, Kyle, but Thomas and I know how toxic it is. Like some people are giving they want Garoppolo, but then they don't want Baker. It's like, what are we doing, dude? Garoppolo could pull Baker's jog strap right now. What are you talking about? Like, fuck this year, he was injured. Like, what do you like? What I don't know. But that
and that's the thing. Like, even if Baker is like Yeah, like, me and Thomas have talked about this a lot on the podcast. I'm a pro Baker guy. I particularly am not a big fan of Ohio State, so I like anybody who plants the flag in the middle of their logo. I try to be somewhat objective on this podcast, and I really do think that Baker Mayfield is the best option for the Browns, unless you can go get Russell Wilson, and even then, the amount of capital you'd have to give up to trade for him, that would. I think he'd be setting your franchise back. So it's like, even if you keep Baker around, 5th year, he doesn't work out, now you got to go find somebody else. That's still better than trading the farm for Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It makes it super difficult right now because there's all these guys that are probably going to be available, like Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. If 22 things happen, maybe Deshaun Watson, but I don't even want to think about it until that. But if those guys might not be available next year, I mean, I would sincerely doubt. Rodgers could be, but I just don't see him going to another team. Here's the thing. What the smart thing to do is give Baker one more year, because they extended him for his player option, and he's on a rookie deal. So like you said, you want to go and give up, these people, these stooges want to give up Derek Carr. They want to get Derek Carr. They want to get Kirk Cousins. First off, Kirk Cousins, that cap hit that's going to be on the Browns is going to be ridiculous. Secondly, Derek Carr, even if you think he's better than Baker, how much better do you think Derek Carr is? Okay, so you're going to trade for him, and then you're going to get a guy who's not on a rookie contract like Baker. Trading for a guy that is maybe a little better than Baker doesn't make any sense to me at all. And trading for a guy who is Baker Mayfield but 6 years older also doesn't make sense. So I don't like any of that stuff.
Exactly.
So I think the smart, you said, is to let him ride one more year. I truly believe that he's a great quarterback that was just injured. Now, I think the surprise of everything is, he's probably going to be the 3rd best quarterback in the AFC North, and that's not a bad thing. I think Burrow is the best quarterback in the AFC North, and I think Lamar Jackson is going to be 2nd. And I think Baker is a close 3rd to Lamar when he's healthy. And I don't think there's any problem with saying that. I mean, but I would take,
except for the fact that it's false.
Well,
we agree
I think
we agree with
Baker at his best is better than what Lamar is.
Lamar is better. Yeah, we both know we both are not high on Lamar on this pod. So we agree with 90% of what you just said, but the Lamar part.
At first, but Lamar's style of play is the kind of thing that gets figured out quickly in the NFL. It always does. Look at every really high tier running quarterback ever. Michael Vick was never Michael. I know he went to prison and all that, but he was still the same talent. And he was never the same after he came back. He had that great year in Atlanta, and then he was great after that. But he went everywhere else in the NFL. And he had good years. He was pretty good with the Eagles, but he wasn't the greatest quarterback of all time that, everybody was thinking he might be, because those kind of quarterbacks get figured out and their bodies wear down. And, and that Lamar Jackson from from a passing perspective, he's no better than Baker Mayfield.
Not at all. We actually.
Yeah, I will say, as Thomas, sorry to interrupt you.
Sure.
I will say, Lamar had to do a lot of the carrying last season because his entire team was injured. He was playing with guys that were in the movie Invincible. I don't know if you guys see that movie, but it's walk on, guys that literally were going to the team to try out. Look, I think Lamar is a better runner than Michael Vick. He already is. And Lamar is a much better passer than Michael Vick. Michael Vick was a transcendent NFL player. I don't think Lamar would be here without Michael Vick. I don't think his game would have been accepted. But Michael Vick was not an amazing pass. He had an elite arm, but he had a stretch of a couple of years of where he was pretty solid. Lamar is already an MVP, was an MVP in his 2nd season, and had to carry the load for a dog shit team last year. Credit to them, almost won the division, and then he was injured the final 6 games of the season. So a healthy Lamar with a good core around it, who knows? Now, if Antonio Brown goes to the Ravens, everything I just fucking said does not matter, because but
I'm praying for that one.
If you guys are rating Baker Lamar, I'm fine with that. I am fine with that. But my point being, Joe Burrow, I think if Joe Burrow wins the Super Bowl, he faced the NFL over Patrick Mahomes. I seriously believe that. I think people are tired Mahomes family right now, and it's not Patrick's fault. It's just he's so successful and his family sucks. People are tired of it. Like, guy, like we don't like Joe Burrow.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. I've said this before to a lot of other Bengals fans, and if the Bengals really do end up being as successful as people are thinking that they might be with Joe Burrow, and I mean, if this whole we made the Super Bowl in year 2, which is kind of year 1.5 for Joe Burrow, and if that tells you what life is going to be like for Bengals fans going forward, that's going to be awesome for us. But the rest of the NFL is going to get tired of us real quick, and that just, it happens to every single one of these teams that gets really good. Like, look at the Seahawks. Everybody thought the Seahawks were the shit when they first started doing really well, and then give it 2 years into that, and everybody was like, God, I hate the Seahawks. Their fans are so overrated and blah blah blah.
I'm not gonna lie, I've always hated the Seahawks, just because I thought. Thomas, are you by a coffee pot right now? What is that?
No, I'm by see, this is my signature dad mug. I had this
stirring shit?
Yeah.
Are you stirring shit? Hey, you're stirring shit over there. I'm stirring shit on Twitter.
I'm stirring the pot. Yeah, I put it down. It makes a lot of noise. I don't want to.
No, you're
just take the spoon out, and I think you're fine.
No, but the spoon is what give it character.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What?
What does that even mean?
Use your pinky.
Piggy SpongeBob. By the way, first of all, so yeah, I agree with everything you're saying about Lamar and everything. But the reason why I put Baker over Lamar is simply because first of all, we don't ever criticize Lamar. Lamar don't get enough criticism. To Raven fans, he might get enough criticism. But I think that we need to have a legit Lamar Jackson conversation. Like, he had 16 touchdowns to 15 interceptions this season.
How is he a Pro Bowl guy? How?
I don't know, because it's the same way a lot of these Pro Bowlers get in. It has happened to some Bengals. Like, Geno Atkins kept getting in the Pro Bowl for years, even though he honestly didn't play like he deserved it. But it's because the way the Pro Bowl voting is done, people just vote for who they know. And so people are like, oh, Lamar Jackson. I remember those highlights he had back in 2018 against Nick Vigil. And people are like, oh, well, he must be a Pro Bowler, even though Joe Burrow had a way better season.
Real quick, before because I know we won't have you on here for long, so I really want to ask you this. Hugh Jackson, I really want to just you mind talking a little bit about Hugh Jackson?
So, full disclosure, what Hugh Jackson does for anti-human trafficking is amazing. He makes cameos. I've got 2 from him. They're the stupidest, silliest things I've ever seen. He's an amazing person for that, and his organization is incredible. I think Hugh has good intentions. I think he's a nice guy. I mean, obviously, regardless of what capability or competency you have, if you're an NFL coach, that's one of 32 people out of 7.7 billion people in the world. You got to give him credit. With all that being said, Hugh Jackson is a fucking bum. He is a weasel. He is a snake. He will literally, the thing about lying, guys, is here's why you don't lie. Because you got to remember what you lied about. He contradicts his fucking dumbass self every single goddamn day. And all he has to do is just tell the truth. One day he's saying 1 hour, he's saying he got paid by the Browns to lose. On SportsCenter 2 hours later, he's saying, oh, I didn't get paid. Oh, whatever. Which one is it, Hugh? Which one is it? You were 131-1. You were, or whatever, 336-1. There is one person above you for worst coach in NFL history, and that guy coached when fucking milkmen were in the league, when people were part-time milkmen and insurance brokers. Okay, they're fucking McCrane. What is that guy's name? From I digress. The Scrooge, the Ebenezer Scrooge, and the Crane, whoever. Okay, those fuckers were in the NFL. My point being, Hugh Jackson has thrown people under the bus his entire head coaching career. I think he was loved in Cincinnati, and that's why he came here. I think he's a great offensive coordinator, but obviously being a coach over his head. And to just blatantly lie, regardless of what actually happened, he lied. because he took both sides of a situation, and that's what he does. And then he says he wanted Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. And, oh, you didn't want. It's like, first off, how the fuck are you gonna say you didn't want Myles Garrett, regardless of 11 teams or whatever passed on Patrick Mahomes. Nobody knew Patrick Mahomes was that good. I agree. Like, maybe don't take Mitch Trubisky. Deshaun Watson, I probably wouldn't say anything about right now, given his situation. But nobody knew Patrick Mahomes would be the Patrick Mahomes that he is right now. Like, nobody knew that. I'm sorry. You can say that, and you can, oh, I wanted this guy. But this is the same guy who said, trust me about Cody Kessler and all this stuff. So that dude, look, he's done some great stuff. And off the field, you got to appreciate the person he is, but he is a fucking bum. He's a bum. I'm sorry. That dude is a loser. He is. Guys, listen. I don't say this about many people. I really don't. I didn't say about Roethlisberger or whatever. I've deleted tweets before where I'm like, Austin Hooper's a bum because he drops a ball and he falls on his ass. But Hugh Jackson, I will not retract this. Hugh Jackson is a bum.
All right. Well, so I want to push back just a little bit here. I'm gonna throw out some numbers.
I'm not.
Here. So 4-12, 5-11, 4-12,
Okay.
2-14, 4-12, 5-11, 5-11, 8-8. That last one was when the Raiders hired Hugh Jackson. Here's the Browns around the time they hired Hugh Jackson. So
wait.
4-12, 7-9, 3-13, and then 1-15 and 0-16.
Well, this about to get juicy in a minute. Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, clearly they weren't trying to win. I don't think anybody. Sashi Brown traded everything for picks, and he stripped the entire team. It was a 3-year plan. Unfortunately for Hugh Jackson, that man still could not coach. I don't think. I'm sorry. That team was not 1-15 bad, and that for sure that second team was not 0-16 bad.
When Johnny Manziel's your quarterback, yeah.
No, Johnny
Manziel the 1-15 year.
Nope, he wasn't a part of the Hugh Jackson years.
No, that was Josh McCown.
Then why was?
No, it was Josh McCown and fuck. I literally just memorized all.
Josh McCown, Deshaun Kaiser, Cody Kessler, I believe, and Robert Griffin III.
I swear to God, I remember there was a
not with
Johnny
Hugh Jackson.
Manziel had beef with Hugh Jackson.
No, it was McCown, RG3, and Austin Davis.
Yeah, for that 1 year.
Yeah, no, Johnny Manziel was Mike Patton.
Huh. I swear to God, I remember those two having beef.
Promise you, you got two Browns fans on the call.
Well, I'm not saying I'm right, you're wrong. I'm saying that's what I remember.
These guys do not deserve any more airtime on this show. This show is much better than fucking Hugh Jackson and Johnny Bumass Manziel. Sorry, who's trust funded. He inherited his grandpa's trust fund, and now he doesn't have to do anything for the rest of his life. Good for him, man. Good for him.
All right. Let's get into this. I mean, Kyle, you got anything to rebut that, or you want to get into the Super Bowl talk?
Well, I do want to get into the Super Bowl talk. I have one last thing to say about Hugh Jackson. I agree with you. He's kind of a weasel. I never really liked him that much in Cincinnati, other than the fact that there were some good results. I wasn't the biggest fan of him as an offensive coordinator, but I liked him. He was a really good position coach. And he vibed well with Marvin Lewis, and he was part of that 2015 team, and that 2015 team was fairly revered here as a team that really could have done something if it hadn't been for Pac-Man and Burfict kind of exploding out of nowhere. But the way I took Hugh Jackson's comments when he first made them, don't forget he made this comment on Twitter or something like that, and he was responding to the Brian Flores thing, and some guy was like, well, you weren't paid $100,000 to tank, and he said, well, trust me, it was a good number. And I think given the way that Hugh Jackson speaks, because he's kind of an idiot in the way he speaks, right? And I think the way that what he was trying to say was, I was basically brought in to be a tanking coach and to be a scapegoat. And then I think that's what he tried to clarify later, not realizing that that's what, that is essentially what he had said, but I don't think that's necessarily what he initially meant. And then he had to walk it back later and kind of look like an idiot. But that's honestly just the way that Hugh Jackson kind of lives his life.
Can I say one more thing real quick before we move on to Super Bowl real quick? The thing about that is you're right, Kyle, and I think that's essentially what it was. But the reason why it frustrates so much people is because Hugh Jackson was actually extended They gave Hugh Jackson an extension. So yeah, there is no doubt.
That was insane.
There's no doubt in my mind that the Browns were like, yeah, our plan was to tank fine. Like the Cavs plan was to tank and accumulate draft picks. Teams do that. But the whole point was that Hugh Jackson had an opportunity to reap the fruits of the labor. You know, he got John Dorsey. He got the team. He got Baker Mayfield's rookie year. He's the one who congratulated Baker Mayfield on being the backup, to Tyrod Taylor. Hugh did that. Hugh shot himself in the foot. And then Greg Williams went on a tear with that same Browns team that Hugh Jackson couldn't do it with. So he doesn't get he doesn't get a pass here. Anyway, let's get to the Super Bowl. I really want to hear what I got to say about the Super Bowl.
Okay, I this is literally just a comment, and I'll get right onto the Super Bowl. But you guys are gonna hate me. I'm an idiot. I got Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel confused when I made those comments earlier. So Baker Mayfield was the one who had beef with Hugh Jackson.
You just trying to rub our misery in our face.
That was a genuine mistake.
Oh, we get it. We suck. All right, we suck.
I'm on the Super Bowl.
Well, you know what? On that note, let's go ahead and talk about the Cincinnati Bengals, who I don't know if you heard are in the fucking Super Bowl.
No, didn't know. Thank you for letting me know.
Okay, so I guess my thought process here is, I've gotten, obviously they've gotten a lot of my perspective on this, and they've gotten a lot of Thomas's perspective on this. So, SirYacht, why don't you go ahead and tell me what you think the Bengals need to do to beat the Rams this week?
Well, first off, before I go into that, there's a lot of Browns fans that were watching that divisional or conference championship round. They're like, this is the worst day of my life. I'm so depressed. It's one of the toughest days to be a Browns fan. I'm like, it's not even top 100. It's not even top 100. Look, if it's the Steelers making it Ben Roethlisberger's last year, then yes, that would be one of the toughest days. And if it look, I get it. Odell said some shit that I'm like, dude, if that's true, what the fuck? You're playing for the Browns regardless if you wanted to or not. You can't just tell a guy to not come to Cleveland. That's some bullshit. It is fucked up. But who cares at this point? Okay, that's on. Just move on. Okay, and out of all the people in the AFC North, I'm happy that it was the Bengals that made it over the Ravens or the Steelers. I hate the Steelers and I hate the Ravens. I would say most people here, they're there's the traditionalists. They're like, oh, we hate Cincinnati. It's we don't hate Cincinnati. We just don't like them. It's just what it is. But I think people are happy for Joe Burrow and things like that. So to say that day was one of the and the Super Bowl is going to be one of the worst days of our life as a Browns fan, it ain't even top 100. I digress. I think the Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl. I said before the Raiders game, I said if they beat the Raiders, they're probably going to go to the Super Bowl because of the run they made at the end of the season, and getting over that 31-year hump. And they did. And I think that's it's like the monkey off their back. They were able to just play football. Nobody expected them to make it this far. So I think they're going to play loose. I've seen a bunch of, I watch a lot of talk shows, a lot of sports talk shows, and people that have worked with Joe Burrow, this is the most confident dude anybody has ever seen. The man's confidence just goes over everybody else. He has an infectious personality, and he's just a leader. And I think that guy is going to do great things in this league. He's going to be the face of the NFL here pretty soon, a lot quicker if they beat the Rams. I think in order for them to beat the Rams, they got to protect Joe Burrow the best they can, because you got Von Miller and you got Aaron Donald coming at you. That's terrifying. That is terrifying for a quarterback. But I think it's going to be some short plays, some screen plays. Buy some protection for a little bit. Joe Burrow's probably going to get sacked 4 or 5 times. That's going to be my guess. But establish the run with Joe Mixon, and look, their offense is not. I'm sorry, the Rams defense. I don't care what. I don't even fucking know his name. It's not Jamal Adams. What? Jalen Ramsey. I don't give a shit how many times Jalen Ramsey says things. Okay, he got absolutely cooked by Mike Evans 3 weeks ago. He's not going to hold Jamar Chase under 100 yards. I'm sorry, nobody's going to be able to hold Jamar Chase under 100 yards, except Jamar Chase if he decides he doesn't want 100 yards. So I think the offense is going to be fine. The defense, I think the Rams have really shown that they've improved. Their offense is pretty solid, and credits Odell. He had a stellar game against the 49ers last week. I think the longer you keep the Rams off the field, maybe some short plays, which are going to help because you're probably gonna risk Joe Burrow getting sacked a lot. Maybe control the clock, control the plays, keep the Rams offense off the field. And I really do like the Bengals in this game. That's not, as I'm not blowing smoke up anybody's ass. I think they're just on an absolute tear right now. I thought the Rams were frauds at the beginning of the season. Obviously that is wrong because they're in the Super Bowl. But I don't know why, guys. I've liked them ever since like week 17 of the regular season. I like the tear they're on right now. I think confidence is such an underrated aspect of any sport. And Joe Burrow is the coolest motherfucker on the planet. I think that dude is so confident. They're gonna play loose. They don't care what happens because I think they're gonna be back at any point. I think they're built for the future. I thought they'd only be built for this year. Obviously, I was wrong. So,
hey,
that's fair.
Can't argue with that.
I gotta say the biggest advantage that I think the Bengals are going to have in this game is the one that's actually been winning them all these playoff games, and it's the fact that Joe Burrow and really the whole Bengals offense have learned how to take care of the football. They have not been turning the ball over. They have been forcing opposing teams to turn the ball over. Now the Rams turned the ball over 4 times against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's part of why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers made that big comeback that they did. The Rams only forced 2 turnovers of their own. They won that game because they got off to such a hot start. But Matt Stafford is going to give you the ball, or he's at least going to give you an opportunity to give you the ball. You're looking at you, Jaquiski Tart. But see, here's the thing, like. The Bengals have been so adept at taking advantage, and that's the thing that they have not done my entire life, which is why I'm still trying to find some way to like believe that this is the actual Cincinnati Bengals, because they my entire life they have not taken advantage of opportunities. That's why
they've been trash their whole life.
And that's why they've been trashed my whole life, is because they don't take advantage of those opportunities. But this team does. And so the fact that they have a +5 turnover differential in the playoffs so far. The Rams, I think they're dead even, but that's because they had a really good game against the Cardinals. If it wasn't for that game against the Cardinals, they'd be, negative.
Yeah. Go ahead. No, I was gonna say, like, we don't want to hold you too much time over you need. So stay as long as you want to, sir. Yeah.
No, you're good. I'll this will be the last thing I'll say.
Good.
I think Matt Stafford had a decent. He had a pretty good game against the 49ers last week. Credit to him for that. He like Kyle said, he always gives you the ball somehow, somewhere. He fucks up somehow, some way. And it's been too long since Matthew Stafford kind of messed up. And what better place to do it than in the Super Bowl in your home stadium against the Cincinnati Bengals, who Vegas probably doesn't think is going to win. I haven't seen the lines, but I'm assuming the Rams are going to be favored by like -3, -4, or something like that. And what better way for Matthew Stafford to be like, hold my football and just kind of give the game away. I think he's a great quarterback, but I've said it once and I'll say it again. You can take the player out of Detroit, but you can't take Detroit out of the player. So there you go.
Before you go, sir, I got to ask you a question. Why is Ohio better than California?
We don't have heroin needles on our beaches. People can make fun of our beaches and stuff like that, but they're not infected with opioids. First off, California water is so cold. It's like not, I don't know. It's not great. Aside from the beaches, there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of pollution. They have a homeless problem. People are choosing to be homeless because they can basically just chill on Ocean Ave in Santa Monica. Like, I'm not even talking about people that like actually need housing. It's bums. They're bums that are taking advantage of a big problem in California, and they're camping out in Santa Monica. And the people on Ocean Avenue can't kick these people off because there's an ordinance saying they can't. Okay, there's so much traffic. The people suck. They got mudslides. They got earthquakes. They got haze. Yeah, you can take your 65, 70 degrees. Okay, I love Ohio. People are great, and this is a great place to raise a family. And our teachers don't need subsidized housing. What is that? Like the people that really take care of your kids for 18 years, they can't even afford housing in California. What's that, like 30% tax on like properties? And it's an absolute nightmare out there. I get it's beautiful and stuff like that, and there's shit to see, but you can't even fucking afford to see that shit. You can't even afford to look at it. And even if you can't afford it, you're gonna drive 4 hours and mostly stop and go traffic to go look at shit. So sorry about that. You can hate on Cincinnati and Cleveland, but Intel just moved their giant headquarters they put a headquarters in it could have been Silicon Valley, it could have been anywhere. They moved it to a township outside of Columbus. And I'm telling you, Ohio is a great place to live. I've traveled the entire state for over a year, and I've been to California. I've experienced some of it, and I like California. California's pretty. But it's just like, come on, what are we doing here, man? California has a problem right now. California has a problem.
Yeah, take that, California.
Also, if you live here, then with our cost of living and everything like that, and it's a nice place to live, you can afford the ticket to go take a vacation in California if you want to. If you're like, oh, it's a beautiful place, well, you can still go see California. It's not like you're living in Japan.
Yeah. Here's the thing. California is a great place to live if you are the 1% in terms of like net income that live in California. If you're bougie or you got daddy's money or shit like that. Okay. If you're an average person like me or whatever, just kidding, I'm below average. But if you're an average person that makes like 50,000 a year, 70, whatever you make, California sucks. California fucking sucks. If you're an executive for a company, you can ride a helicopter through everywhere. Yeah, that is great. But I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. I'm sorry. It seems like a life that's so fake. The people are so fake. Who wears sunglasses to Lakers games? We get it. You smoke weed. We get it. You think you're cool. You don't want people taking pictures of you. You're a fucking D-list celebrity. Nobody knows who you are. That's cool that you were a supporting role in an Oscar-nominated film. Nobody gives a fucking shit. Nobody cares. Shut your mouth, California. Dumbasses.
You know what that sounds like to me? It sounds like Ohio versus the world. But
California sucks.
But anyway, y'all, appreciate you coming on here, SirYacht. It was fun. Hopefully we can have you on again sometime. But yeah, it was a blast, man. I know you got to get going, but you want to. Everybody knows who you are, so you don't need to do this. But I do this for every guest that we have. So you want to tell the audience where they can find you?
Well, I don't know if everybody knows who I am, but I do appreciate that. Yeah, if you wanna follow me everywhere, if you can tolerate me, follow me anywhere, YouTube, Instagram. I'm really building up my YouTube right now, but Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. I'm even on Cameo. You just search SirYacht and you'll find me somewhere. I'm even putting out a single in the next month or so. But if you, hey, I saw you're putting out a single Friday, Thomas. Good luck on that one. I'm excited.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We're coming out with a whole album on my birthday. My birthday's on the 22nd.
No shit, man. I'm looking forward to hearing a lot. Good luck with that. And hey, Kyle, good luck to your Bengals. And I'm praying. I'm aside of me joking about the stress of being in a Super Bowl, because I'd want that stress, I know it's going to be a very stressful day for you. Like Thomas and I are going to be able to go prop our feet up, go get some dip, have some pop, have some beer or whatever we like to drink, and just like have a good time with some stress-free football. Some people are going to be like, "Oh, this could be the worst day of my life." Shut the fuck up. But having said that, I know it's going to be a very stressful day for you. Enjoy it. And I'm not saying this in like a condescending way at all. You never, us as a Bengals fan and me as a Browns fan, you never know if you're going to get back there or not. You never know. So enjoy that moment. Have so much fun. Relish it. And I hope you guys bring it home to Kentucky. I will say I'm going down to Athens on Thursday. I'm going to do a piece on Joe Burrow and like the people in the town and what he means to that town. So I figured I'd just go down and do that Thursday. So I'm super excited to get everybody's opinions there. They're all pulling for the Bengals. So I know a lot of people in Cleveland are going to do that. I won't directly say that I'm pulling for the Bengals, but I'm also not pulling for the Bengals. So best of luck. And Thomas, have fun with your album and your single releases and stuff, and watching stress-free football on Sunday. How about that?
Yeah. Hey, dude, enjoy OU, man. We're both OU grads here, so So.
I know. Yeah.
So
roll Bobbies. Looking forward down there. It's a great place. So.
Oh yeah. The bars pop off Thursday night. So you have fun with that. You have
All
fun
right,
with
so
that.
real quick before you go, give me a prediction.
Yeah, that's true. I should give some sort of prediction. I'm going to say Bengals 27, Rams 21. I think Matt
Ooh.
a field goal for the Rams because like he's been missing weird field goals like that even haven't even gone the distance like 30 yarders or whatever. I think Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. I mean the Bengals have such a good receiving core. I mean Uzama's coming back too, right?
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah, he should. It looks like he's going to be playing. I mean, with all of them, like and Mixon and even Perrin. I forgot how you say his last name.
P. Ryan.
Thank you. I don't know. I have on fantasy sometimes. Aside from that one weird like bobbled interception against the Titans, I think he had a touchdown last week, so that was pretty awesome. They're stacked on offense. They just need to get a fucking offensive line, but they've made it this far without very many people on the offensive line. I don't know, guys. I don't know why. My gut, and I've had some bad takes, but I've been right about the Bengals this year. My gut says the Cincinnati Bengals win this game by 6. 27-21.
All right.
Sounds good to me, man.
All right. Look at that. The legend, the Cleveland legend himself. All right. I love it. Well, thank you, sir. Yeah, we appreciate you, sir. You are amazing. The legend himself. I told you, Kyle, he's a great guest. Thank you.
Yes, sure.
Guys, Tom, it's great seeing you. We'll have to see you again. Yeah, anytime you guys want me on, let me know. Best of luck. Congratulations on the 100th episode.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Look at that. Okay.
Good. So let's go ahead and move along then to the state of the AFC North, and then we can go ahead and get out of here. Yeah, so like I said at the top of the episode, man, the Jimmy G to Pittsburgh rumors are growing stronger and stronger, and I'm so ready for that because SirYacht made a good point, and that's pretty much my point too. He's not that good of a quarterback. He wins a lot, but I think he wins because of the team around him. And I think that's what Pittsburgh's hoping to do. But I think Pittsburgh's a little arrogant. I think Pittsburgh thinks that they have more talent around them than they really do. And it's like, yeah, they made the playoffs this year, but they only really made the playoffs kind of like by default because the Colts just kind of fumbled against the Jaguars. And then and then Brandon Staley took like a really inadvised timeout. I mean, the sequence of events that had to happen to get the Steelers in the playoffs this year was insane. So I don't know. And Ben Roethlisberger was not a great, quarterback by the end of his career, but at the same time, he still kind of had a little bit of that magic about him, that's the reason why, to an extent, I'm kind of sad to see Ben Roethlisberger go because he's not very good, but I'm also kind of not sad to see him go because even when he's not good, sometimes he just kind of makes that magic happen. So losing Ben Roethlisberger, I think, is pretty much going to make sure that they're not going to be a playoff team again for a while. I don't care who comes in. Because the Steelers have got, they're going to need to go get a quarterback. And if they don't go get a rookie quarterback and rely on that to be their whole quarterback option, they're going to have some cap issues. So, this isn't going to be the same Pittsburgh team from this year, going forward. So, I don't know. I think this idea that, Pittsburgh is going to stay good after Ben Roethlisberger is just not going to happen. And if you got Jimmy G as your quarterback, that's going to hamstring you financially, and he's not going to be enough to get it done with the talent that they currently have around him.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is that, like you said, they're losing their magic. Ben Roethlisberger, he always find ways to win games. Just like you look at the Steelers stats, they're like mediocre in like passing yards, mediocre and offense altogether. They're really just above average in defense. They're not like great on defense. They have great players in defense, but not great defensively. If you're a good team, you can beat them offensively. They just found ways to win games. They just won the game they should win. They slow the game down. They just muck up the game. They just win in crazy ways. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, they're masters of situational football, and I mean you got to give that's partially credit to Tomlin for being a master of situational football, but that's also partially a credit to Big Ben for being a master of situational football. And it's like there's a lot of stuff is just not going to be the same for the Steelers going forward. And if they do draft a quarterback from this year's draft, they're going to need a veteran quarterback to, because that guy's not going to be ready right away. None of these quarterbacks, not Sam Howell, not Kenny Pickett, not what's his name, Malik Willis, not Desmond Ridder. None of these guys are ready right now to come in and do stuff like what Joe Burrow's been doing. That quarterback does not exist. There's projects, guys that can eventually develop into what you're looking for, but they're not going to be ready this year, so you're going to need to go get a veteran quarterback. And any veteran quarterback out there is going to be expensive. I kind of hope they do trade for Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson because, neither of those two guys are going to save that team. Yeah, they might win a couple more extra games with Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. It might be the Steelers going to go 6-11 instead of 4-13 behind those two guys. But it ain't going to be they ain't going to be making the playoffs with those guys because those guys' contracts are going to hamstring this team even further than they already are. And then on top of that, if you get Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, that means you're giving up a ton of picks too. So it's how are you going to rebuild?
Good question. And they're just not. And so, so the Steelers are in a pickle. They're going to be bad next year. They're going to be a 3-4 win team next year, unless they get Rodgers. And even if they get Rodgers, they're going to still have pieces missing. I don't think they're going to get Rodgers. At first, they would, but what is Rodgers going to come play with? So they're not going to get him for real. So let's be real.
They're not. I feel like I've said it before. I don't feel like Aaron Rodgers would even really want to go to Pittsburgh because I can't be crazy. I can't be the only one who's seeing this situation in Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers said he doesn't want to be part of rebuild. He said that very specifically. So why the hell would you go to Pittsburgh?
Maybe I'm not
gonna lie. I think interestingly enough, I almost kind of think that it would kind of make sense for Aaron Rodgers to go to San Francisco. Which I know that's kind of nuts because of his
that makes a lot of sense
and his record against them. But he was a San Francisco fan growing up, and it's is Trey Lance really the answer? I don't know if he is. And if Aaron Rodgers goes to San Francisco, how much longer is Aaron Rodgers even going to play? So you got Trey Lance there, and it's you got a succession plan in place for a guy who's definitely not ready right now. Kind of what the Packers were trying to do with Jordan Love. The difference is Aaron Rodgers signed on to it this time.
That's interesting. That's an interesting claim.
Yeah, it's not necessarily. I didn't really claim anything, but it's definitely something I think makes a lot of sense. And I don't know how many people are even talking about Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh now, but when those rumors first started flying, I was like, that's not gonna happen. Don't be stupid.
I forgot. By the way, I meant to ask SirYacht about Louisville. That's my only regret right now is not asking him about Louisville. He had a lot of funny clips. He had a lot of funny takes, but.
Well, I think there were a couple of things I forgot to ask him about, but he sounded like he'd be interested in coming on again. So, he was a good guest. I wouldn't mind having him on again.
I wouldn't mind having him on again either. Particularly when the Browns play the Bengals again next year. Anyway,
we got to do something big for we got to do something big for the Battle of Ohio games next year.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah. I don't know if we need to do any more live podcasts in the middle of a crowded parking lot, but
well, you just got to execute it right. We got to do it in the right parking lot. I think we do it at the meeting lot in Cleveland. It'd be insane.
Well, in just a general area where there's just people hanging out and stuff. But I think part of our issue is we were trying to compete with they had a stage and they were trying to do stuff with their PA system.
Yeah.
So I think. I think it was that. I think a lot of the people who were there for the Bengal Jim's tailgate, they were like, "Why are you guys talking over Bengal Jim? What are you doing?"
Yeah, no, yeah. That was
maybe
fun.
A bit of better preparation, but either way, we got to do something big for the Battle of Ohio games next year. Maybe I'll come up to Cleveland. Who knows?
Oh yeah. Why don't you come to the dark side of Ohio?
I'm not moving there.
Go Cavs.
Hey,
Current.
that's something I wanted to mention while SirYacht was still on, because I know he's a big Cavs fan. But I'll mention it now. Turns out Joe Burrow is apparently like a huge, like, diehard Cavs fan.
Yeah. 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 Ohio's
Like, you know,
fan.
his first love, sports wise, was actually basketball. So I mean, he grew up, playing basketball in Ohio. He actually he didn't even play football in his freshman year at Athens High School. He was on the basketball team, and just a gigantic Cavs fan. Apparently, like, his first interview with Dan Horde, the Bengals radio announcer. Dan Horde always does like these fun facts and stuff like that, and he got Joe like gushing about the Cavs, like, talking about all this like technical stuff that I didn't understand. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It won't be the first time a rival quarterback of the Browns was a Cavs fan. The last rival quarterback for the Browns that was a Cavs fan won. Yes, that's right. Ben Roethlisberger was a huge Cavs fan.
Well, I guess that makes sense. He's from Oxford.
Go to games and everything.
Really?
Stands. Yep. Set of stands during LeBron era Cavs. Show up like, yeah, I just won a Super Bowl. Go LeBron.
Huh.
Yeah, I know. It sucked.
More reason for me to not like the Cavs.
No, you should like the Cavs, but hey, everybody likes the Cavs.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody likes the Cavs.
Look, when it comes to sports rivalries, I take my or when it comes to sports teams for sports that I don't follow that much, I just take there is no Cincinnati team in the NBA, but there is a Cleveland team, and so I just like, I got to be rivals with the Cleveland team, huh?
Well, the thing is, though,
also, like I've said many times, like I will never follow the NBA again until the Sonics come back. So
they're gonna come back soon. But it's funny about that,
maybe
Kyle.
I'll follow the NBA then.
It's funny about the thing is, though, there's just no other basketball team close for real. I mean, there's the Pacers and there's the Detroit Lions, but there's only one basketball team in Ohio. The only basketball team in Detroit.
You said Lions.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. There's only one the only one. A long state, a huge state. So there's no basketball team in Kentucky.
My sister's in Pennsylvania, so I could root for the 76ers.
Yeah, but they're like all the way in eastern Pennsylvania. Western Pennsylvania, eastern
the
Pennsylvania.
The better part of Pennsylvania, by the way.
Yeah, it is. That's probably.
I wouldn't want to live in Philadelphia. It's too crowded. But man, those cheesesteaks. I love those cheesesteaks.
Oh yeah. It's like two different states, man. One's like the Midwest, the other one's like the East Coast. It's crazy how that works. But you on Ravens.
I actually don't have anything for the Ravens. They're really quiet lately. Like most recently, the Giants are apparently hiring Dominique Martindale to be their defensive coordinator. But
what about,
he already got
Brown?
fired by the Ravens, so who cares?
What about the Sashi Brown news?
What about Sashi Brown now?
Then the Ravens hired Sashi Brown like as their like president of basketball football operations or something crazy like that.
He was working for the Washington Wizards?
Yep. And then they respect him in the basketball circle, so they hired him.
You know what? I did hear about that. Yeah, Sashi Brown is going to the Baltimore Ravens. I actually saw some in I think the AFC North conflict group on Facebook. I think there was somebody who mentioned it's like, the guy who destroyed the Browns, which is kind of funny because the Browns are already bad. But the guy who really destroyed the Browns, that's who you're hiring to be your president of football operations. Good job.
Well, I mean, he's the one who accumulated all those picks and stuff, so John Dorsey could make those trades and those picks. So I mean, like, he set the stage for what John Dorsey did and the talent evaluation and stuff like that.
Yeah. By the way, it is just president, I think, of the team is what he's doing.
Yep. Yep,
So
president. So he's
it's
right.
the Ravens president retired, and so Sashi Brown's going to be the new president.
Yeah, so yeah, he's not gonna probably pick up players. He's probably just gonna be like just running operations and stuff. Just make sure everything is like more like the kind of like the CEO of like, making sure like, the popcorn machine guy is hired.
Well, maybe the popcorn guy will go 0-16.
That's all I got for real. Got anything else, Kyle?
No, let me see if I can find something interesting on Twitter to talk about with the Ravens. It's a mock draft. Something about Jim Harbaugh, which has nothing to do with the Ravens. Former Ravens defensive coordinator. So a lot of stuff about Don Wink Martindale, but I mean, it's obviously that doesn't have anything to do with the Ravens because they fired him. Mark Andrews talking about his success. Yeah, the Ravens have just been quiet, man. The Ravens haven't been done, hardly much of nothing. Yeah, I mean, there's Sashi Brown. I did forget about Sashi Brown, and I did kind of want to talk about him a little bit, but there ain't too much to talk about considering, like you said, he's going to be, probably dealing with day-to-day operations rather than specifically football stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll deal with some football stuff too, but
yeah,
he'll probably be involved in the hiring of like a general manager and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, unless they're letting him do the general manager duty for the Ravens. If they do, like, good
Have
luck
the
for
Ravens
them.
hired a defensive coordinator? Jesse Minter is expected to be Michigan's next defensive coach. Okay, so I think Mike McDonald is okay. So I think the Ravens hired Mike McDonald away from Michigan to be their new defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know anything about him. I can tell you Michigan had a pretty good defense though. So there's that.
Maybe it translates to the NFL. I don't think so. I don't like the idea of hiring a college coordinator for a pro coordinator job. That don't seem right for me.
I don't mind coordinators. See, like college head coach immediately becoming NFL head coach. That shit hasn't really worked like great since like the 30s. So yeah, I don't love that. But like coordinators, because coordinators aren't just like in charge and everything runs through them, and they have people they have to answer to. I don't mind it as much if like college coordinators become NFL coordinators.
I got you.
Oh yeah, the Ravens fired Rob Ryan, who was apparently their linebacker coach.
I didn't even know he was still working in football.
Yeah, apparently. And apparently he was their the fucking longtime New Orleans Saints defensive coordinator was apparently their linebacker coach. Then again, actually, I laugh at that, but the Bengals linebacker coach for, I want to say like the end of Marvin Lewis's tenure and probably the first year of Zach Taylor, was Jim Haslett, who was the New Orleans Saints head coach for a little while. So I guess just if you work in a significant position with the New Orleans Saints, then you are one day destined to be an AFC North linebacker coach for some reason. Rob Ryan looks like he eats linebackers.
Yeah, Rob Ryan
for breakfast.
All right, well, that's all I got. That's all I got on the Ravens. And Lamar Jackson, we already talked about him and everything, what's our guy and everything. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So
go get Antonio Brown.
That'd be hilarious. That'd be hilarious. Just like tank the whole team, man. And that would be great. But you know what? We can't do that because you know what? People have been talking about like, oh, well, the Bengals doing well this season isn't legitimate because like they won an AFC North where everybody in the AFC North was terrible. And it's like, was everybody in the AFC North terrible though? Like, I mean, like the Steelers kind of the Steelers refused to be bad. The Ravens, they kind of tanked at the end of the year, but don't forget that the Bengals whooped up on the Ravens when the Ravens were still doing well. And then, the Browns. But I mean, we also lost twice to the Browns, so there's not really too much too much analysis to be had there. But hey, dude, we're in the fucking Super Bowl. Who cares if the AFC North was bad or not? We won the whole AFC.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
All right. Well, anyway, that's probably going to do it, I think, for this episode of the Battle of Ohio podcast. We are just over an hour in now, but thank you so much for watching. You can always catch more of what I do at Kyle Phelps92 on Twitter, Facebook.com/The Phelps. My Bengals coverage at atbnetwork.com/Cincinnati Bengals, and my YouTube channel, which is just Kyle Phelps. You can catch more of what he does at T_star94 on Twitter and Instagram, and on YouTube and TikTok as the Thomas J Network. And don't forget to go check out our guest, SirYacht, on pretty much all the platforms. I know he's on YouTube. I know he's on TikTok. I know he's on Instagram. He's on a bunch of different stuff. He's got like this whole, like if you go to his Twitter profile, he's got like this link that sends you to like all of his links. It's actually pretty nifty. But yeah, he puts out a lot of good content, guys. So definitely go check that out. You won't be disappointed. But I will leave y'all as always with a hootie.
Go Browns.